الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. We'll continue inshallah with the hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma when he was with the Prophet ﷺ, and he told him, "Oh boy, I'm learning you or instructing you with words, so be aware of them. يا غلام إني أعلمك كلمات احفظ الله يحفظك احفظ الله تجده تجاهك." And we finished that part the last time. Then the Prophet ﷺ is saying, إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله, which translates into Arabic. Yes? إذا سألت فاسأل الله. Can you translate that
to English?
Yes.
Or if I want to request something, request also.
If you yes, إذا سألت, if you ask for a thing, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله. Yes?
If you need help, you
ask help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. So إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله. If you wanted a thing, if you asked for a thing to happen, let it be from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you needed assistance, let it be again from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So ask for assistance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And subhanallah, this is very, very important point. We usually miss to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with our whole, thinking, whole motive, whole need. We usually ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by making dua as if the dua is part of accomplishing the thing. But if we are truthful to ourselves, we'll ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if the dua is the only way to accomplish our needs. That's why the scholars said, إذا نظرت في قلب المؤمن ظننت أنه لا يعمل أبدا وإذا نظرت إلى عمل المؤمن ظننت أنه لا يتوكل أبدا. This is something needs a very clean explanation. If you look in the heart of a believer, you think from the amount of tawakkul that he has in his heart, that he is not going to take with the reasons. He is not going to use the asbab. لا يأخذ بالأسباب. He's not going to use it. For example, if you want to fight his hunger, he will make tawakkul for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you look at his heart, and he's not going to eat. And of course this is not right. But this is how the heart of a believer is looking. In the same time, if you looked for the action of the believer, you think that he has no tawakkul, because he is using the action with total perfection. Again, this is a very, very delicate matter that we have to clarify. We are ordered to take reasons, to use reasons to accomplish our needs. Okay? Is that right? This is part of the Shara. This is part of the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. For example, the Prophet ﷺ, in relation to our practice and medicine, he said, تَدَاوَوْا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ. Use medicine, slaves of Allah. تَدَاوَوْا. Use the medicine. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ مَا أَنزَلَ مِنْ دَاءٍ إِلَّا وَأَنزَلَ لَهُ دَوَاءً. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not let a disease down to the earth unless He sends the cure with it, or the treatment with it, or the medicine with it. So we are ordered to use the medicine. But how do we believe deep in heart? We believe in قول الله عز وجل وإذا مرضت فهو يشفيني. Who will cure? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So why medicine? If the cure is from Allah, why use medicine? Because Allah ordered us to use medicine. And He made the reason for the cure in using the medicine. But He did not make the cure in the medicine. He just made the reason in it. But He subhanahu wa ta'ala kept the cure in His hand with His order. So, you might be cured without using the medicine. And you might be cured with using the medicine. And you might not be cured even with using the medicine. But what's our role? Our role is to use the medicine as a patient. And what's our role as a doctor? Is to study well and to prescribe the medicine to the best of our knowledge, to the best of the available knowledge, and to have our hearts and the patient heart attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to the medicine, not to our profession, not to the talented doctor, not to the expensive medicine, not to the new invention in science. No. These are all reasons. If you look to a good Muslim doctor, you would find him studying very hard, trying to know what the update, trying to prescribe the drugs at the best of his knowledge, at the best of the available knowledge in the world, as if what he is doing is the whole cure. But when you look deep to his heart, you would find that he believes, and his doctrine belief, his aqidah is, it's only Allah who cures. We're only using this for perfection of what we are doing as we have been ordered. But we never believe that this cures. Only Allah cures. If you had that example extrapolated to your whole life, you would understand the meaning of إِذَا سَأَلْتَ فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهِ. If you ask, go and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't ask anyone else. Just ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And deep in your heart, believe, true, in your heart, that Allah can accomplish everything to you, even without taking the cause or the reason for that. But you're going to take, not for that the reason we accomplish things, but for we've been ordered to use reasons by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the understanding of التوكل and الأخذ بالأسباب. So these 2 points, we have to balance them very delicately. التوكل على الله سبحانه وتعالى and الأخذ بالأسباب, taking the reasons or using the reasons in your practice and daily life and everything. وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ. If you need some help, if you have something that's above your capabilities, and you're going to ask for help, who are you going to ask for? For a friend? For a brother? For a sister? For the help of a scholar? Or a teacher? Or maybe your parents? Or someone in power or authority? Just the bigger the thing you're looking for or you're having, the trouble you're in, you're going to look for someone who is more capable. Maybe if you have a relative as a minister or in the political party, you would ask for things that's big. Go higher. You might ask the president, for example, for a help. Go higher. Go higher. Subhanallah. Who is the highest? Who is the most capable of everything? Who can turn things upside down and downside up? Who can even turn hearts of people? Who can turn off or on the mind, the tongue, the hand, or even the life of people who you are fearing or willing to have any benefit from? Isn't it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Subhanallah. So, if the whole capability is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so, subhanallah, well, why do you ask? Why do you ask for help from a lower power? And it's not just one step lower. It's no comparison. No comparison whatsoever between the capabilities and the strength and the generosity of Allah and between any other person or any other creature in this whole universe. That's why إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله. In this particular part, we have to mention a very important issue, which is related to the shirk. نعوذ بالله من الشرك. Some people, those who gone astray, and subhanallah, they think themselves as the pious people, as the righteous people. Those who use to ask people whom are grieved, dead people, to accomplish their needs. And they do نعوذ بالله, shirk بالله subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this way. For example, you might have seen or heard about people who goes around a grave of one of the righteous people, like what they do in here, for example, in Alexandria, in Abu Abbas, or in El Hussein in Cairo, or in El Badawi in Tanta. Whatever. However, how much the person dead and engraved in that place, whatever righteous or pious he is from the Salihin, he is from Awliyaullah, he can do nothing totally to any person. He can do nothing to himself now. He is dead. He only can get help from your dua to him. He can never make dua to you while he is dead. He can never accomplish your needs or answer your dua. Subhanallah, if you think that he can do that, this is shirk akbar. You are taking him from being a slave to being an ilah. And subhanallah, this is totally unaccepted. The Prophet ﷺ is teaching Ibn Abbas while he is still a ghulam, just a boy. إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله. And this for even the people who are alive around you. Definitely not that. We are not allowed to ask for this. We are not allowed to use their places as if it is places where you have barakah and you have... Definitely not. Definitely not. The Prophet ﷺ did clearly forbade us from doing so with his own grave and cemetery. The Prophet ﷺ said, لا تتخذوا قبري عيدا. Don't take my grave as a festival. The Prophet ﷺ said, لا تطروني كما أطرت النصارى المسيح ابن مريم إنما أنا عبد فقولوا عبد الله ورسوله. Don't flatter me, don't overestimate my position, subhanallah, and he is the best creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala among the whole universe. And he's still saying, don't do like this with me, likewise the Christians done with Jesus ibn Maryam sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I'm only a slave, so say Abdullah wa Rasuluh, a slave and messenger of Allah. So we're not allowed to say, oh Muhammad, do that for me. This is kufr. And he is the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the best ever among the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we are not allowed to say so. So how about of any other person, standing from Umar, Abu Bakr, and the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, may Allah be pleased with them all, down to any one of the righteous people of the Muslims. You are not allowed to do. You are not allowed to ask them. Yes, you can do if he is alive. You can tell him, make dua for me. Make dua for me that Allah might help me to accomplish my needs while he is alive. And this is because the Prophet ﷺ said that when a person made dua to his brother in Islam بِظَهْرِ الْغَيْبِ, while he is not around, there is an angel that is replying for his dua, saying Ameen, and for you too. So if you make dua for your sister, that may Allah help her to complete memorizing Quran. For example, in your sujood, the angel will reply, Ameen, and for you too. So the angel is saying Ameen, which means, O Lord, O God, O Allah, answer this da'wah, Allahumma stajib, for both your sister and yourself. So this is how you ask for, or you use a pious people or a righteous people to get nearer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By accompanying them, by helping them, by staying with them, by coordinating with them in your time and in your deen and in your daily life, by asking them to make dua for you. So they are only, while they are alive, they are only a way to get you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إذا سألت فاسأل الله وإذا استعنت فاستعن بالله. Then the Prophet ﷺ is reasoning what he is saying, is giving the evidence of that statement, is driving why he is telling Ibn Abbas and the whole nation after him that they should only limit themselves to asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to make isti'ana on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he's just explaining. وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّةِ لو اجتمعت على أن ينفعوك بشيء لم ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك. Translate. وَاعْلَمْ. Know that. It's an order. Know that. You should know that. Okay. أَنَّ الْأُمَّةِ. Ummah is actually the nation. The nation. The whole nation of Islam. Okay? So Ummah is like the nation. Like you'd say, the Arab is Ummah. Okay? These are a nation. I mean, it's not even a country. It's the nation is high. So the Muslims are Ummah all together. Okay? So أن الأمة is meaning that the whole. Yes. أن الأمة لو اجتمعت, if they gather all together, على أن ينفعوك, so that they would benefit you بشيء, with anything, with a thing, with just a thing, just if the whole. So look for how the example is precise. The whole nation got together to help you or to benefit you with a thing, a thing. And when you say a thing without a noun, this means it's a very little negligible thing. I just gave you a pen, not the pen. If I'm giving you the pen, I'm giving you that Parker or Cross or whatever pen is, something. But I just give you a pen, any pen. Okay? So if the whole nation gathered together to benefit you with a thing, لن ينفعك. They won't be able to do it. إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك. Unless that this is already written for you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whatever they do, they cannot change the facts, the fate, the destiny, the qadr that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did write upon you. That's why the wise people say, don't be afraid from any person or any group of people on the earth, because the maximum they can do is to implicate what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had written for you. So they only copy it. They don't do it. They don't invent it. Let's have an example. If a person killed someone, this is something very difficult. And then, subhanAllah, to take the person's life, this is the biggest thing. I mean, one can lose other people around, can lose some health, can lose money, can lose power, can lose a home. Anything can be lost, still he has his life. But what's behind losing his life? Nothing. This is the last thing. After that, it's only the Jannah or the Nar. So this is the very last thing in the world, to lose his life. If a person is being killed by some other one, in that moment that he was killed in, is it the exact moment of his life or not? I mean, would he have lived a single second afterward if he was not killed at that moment? This is his exact moment for his life ends. Whether he is killed or he died at bed or whatever happened to him, he wouldn't have a single breath after his last one. Do we believe in that? So actually, that person who killed him, did he terminate his life? No. He just did the action to brought Allah fate and destiny to that person. He's only a tool that can be changed by any other tool. It can be changed by a bacterium or a virus, or by no reason. People die for no reason that we know. So, and this is the maximum that someone would take the life of other. And still, he did not do anything from his own self. He's just. Of course, he's doing haram, and he's going to have account for that, and if he killed the mu'min, he would go to hellfire for that. But still, this is the fate and the destiny that Allah prescribed, that this man or this woman will be dead at that moment. Do we have an example for that in Quran? Do you have a verse in Quran that implied to such a meaning? Luqman. You might know better. I don't recall a thing in Luqman about that. What you mean in Luqman, yes, I know. I know what you mean. The last verse in Surah Luqman, yes. إن الله عنده علم الساعة وينزل الغيث ويعلم ما في الأرحام. This is the broad meaning, but I mean a specific meaning that I was just mentioning. That a person, if he's not going to die now by sword, for example, he's going to die at the same time with another tool. It's in Surah آل عمران. قل لو كنتم في بيوتكم لبرز الذين كتب عليهم القتل إلى مضاجعهم. If you were in your own house, those whom are supposed to die even at their homes. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is responding to the believer, disbeliever who said, and the hypocrites, the munafiqeen who said, وَقَالَ لَوْ كَانُوا عِنْدَنَا مَا مَاتُوا وَمَا قُتِلُوا. If they were with us, did not go to the fight, to the battle, they wouldn't be dead or they wouldn't be killed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is setting them to lie. This is lies. This is not true. وَمَا كَانَ لِنَفْسٍ أَن تَمُوتَ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ كِتَابًا مُؤَجَّلًا. It's a book that has an ajal. مؤجلة, that has a specific time. A timed book. No single nafs that would die unless with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, كتابا مؤجلا. It's a timed order. Subhanallah. So, وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّةِ لو اجتمعت على أن ينفعوك بشيء لم ينفعوك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله لك. ولو اجتمعوا, this is the other way around. ولو اجتمعوا, if they gathered all together again, على أن يضروك, to harm you, يضروك, to harm you. على أن يضروك بشيء, even a thing, anything, they wouldn't be able. لن يضروك إلا بشيء قد كتبه الله عليك. It's something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has recorded upon you. You would have, we know that there is infection. But we don't think that infection causes disease. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the disease to occur or not to occur. That's why 5 of you would meet a person with a contagious virus or bacteria. 1 will catch the disease, 1 will catch the infection and no disease, and maybe 3 will have nothing to occur. Why? No, definitely it is not immunity. Who fired up your immunity to combat the disease and let the other one immunity low? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You would say, yes, because I have been subjected to that infection earlier, so I have an IgG that can... We go deeper in that scientific things. Sometimes we forgot that all things are monopolized by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have always to remember that. When we study diseases, they tell you that this disease had got an instance of so and so for spontaneous remission. cure from Allah. Why? It's just to let you know that He can cure without treatment. So you won't be, subhanallah, afflicted by the fitna, tribulation of the treatment, and you think the treatment cures. Treatment does not cure. Allah cures. And from His mercy and rahmah, He lets you see by your own eyes people receive the treatment and were not cured, and people cured without taking the treatment. So you understand that there are reasons. And the reasons are only reasons. But the reasoning and the effect of the reasoning or the reason to cause or not to cause is still in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ is saying, رُفِعَتِ الْأَقْلَامِ وَجَفَّتِ الصُّحُفِ. This is a very strong statement and should be understood in the perfect way. And the perfect way to understand this is that the qadr is sir from Asrar Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. رفعت الأقلام وجفت الصحف meaning that pen are uplifted and the ink is dried. Okay? Which means What cannot be changed? What? The qadr. Everything in our life. Everything in our life. It's written. It's there. I mean, when you were born, and it is written at the moment, even before you were born, when the angel blew the ruh in the womb of your mother, and the Prophet ﷺ explained, ينفخ فيه الروح ثم يبعث إليه الملك, to the baby, فينفخ فيه الروح ويؤمر بكتب 4 كلمات. 4 things are to be written: رزقه وأجله وعمره وشقي أم وعمله وشقي أم سعيد. So 4 things are written at that moment, among which is your life span. So before you are born, your life is 77 years and 3 months and 2 days and 5 minutes and 1 second. If you would calculate that with seconds. Or it is 5.555 trillion breath or heartbeat, for example. Whatever it is. رُفِعَتِ الْأَقْلَامُ وَجَفَّتِ الصُّحُفِ. Can you beg for more years of your life? No. Whether you're going to be killed, whether you're going to be a martyr, or you're going to be dying in front of the Kaaba in prostration, your time limit is set. Nothing can change that. How we can understand this? While we had evidence from other hadith that there are some good deeds that can prolong life. For example, صلة الرحم, to connect with your relatives. This prolongs life. So how we can understand this? Understand that, like for example, الدعاء in the hadith, الدعاء والقضاء يتصارعان بين السماء والأرض. A person having some disease coming to him, and he is making dua at midnight to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant him al-afiyah. He's doing أذكار الصباح والمساء اللهم عافني في بدني اللهم عافني في سمعي اللهم عافني في بصري لا إله إلا أنت. And there is a disease that's coming down to you by the order of Allah, and you are saying اللهم عافني في بدني. So this is coming down, that's going up, and they would fight. يتصارعان, they would fight. This fight might stand till the day of your death, without having that disease coming down to you. But your dua might get weaker because you slept over, you didn't do the adhkar, you started to miss it, you started to be loose in your dua, so it goes down. Now, this is qada. When it goes down or it goes back up, this is qadr. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not change His qadr. It is there. But among the qadr is changing some of the qada by other reasons that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made as a qadr as well. For example, and don't give example to Allah, فَلَا تَضْرِبُوا لِلَّهِ الْأَمْثَالِ. Now, I would say that we are having a surprise exam now, and you are not prepared. So, you're going to fail. But you're trying, you're doing hard, you're making dua, you're studying harder, you're showing me more and more attention in the class and doing your homework better. So, on next week, I will do another surprise exam, and I would say to you, I will omit the last one and get the mark for this one. At the end, you've passed. Though it looks like that you were not. But you make something to remove this hurdle and to pass over it. So this is how the dua and the good deeds struggle with the qada. But at the end, what's going to occur is the qadr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, a person is meant to live a 70 years. Initially, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that this person would live 60 years. But because he would be a nice person to the connection of the womb and to the silat al-rahim, he will have 10 more years. So now it's a total of 70. If you just want to understand this more, you hear the verse in Quran again. وَوَعَدْنَا مُوسَى 30 لَيْلَةً وَأَتْمَمْنَاهَا بِعَشْرٍ فَتَمَّ مِيقَاتُ رَبِّهِ 40 لَيْلَةً. The original date with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was 40 years, 40 days. It's the story of Moses when he went to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It was 40 days. But the time limit that was set for Musa was 30. What happened is Musa was fasting for those 30 days. Then at the 30th day, he felt like his mouth had changed to an odor that he disliked to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with it. So he took some grass from the ground or some plants and he chewed it and he spit it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him, why? He said, I hate to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with such an odor. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, don't you know that the odor of the fasting person is better to Allah than the misk? Then he continued fasting for another 10 days. So the original setting from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that it was 40. But it was conveyed to Musa as 30, then plus 10. So the 40 were complete. Okay? So وَوَعَدْنَا مُوسَى 30 لَيْلًا وَأَتْمَمْنَاهَا بِعَشْرٍ. We gave the date to Musa for 30 nights. And we completed them with 10. فَتَمَّ مِيقَاتُ رَبِّهِ 40 لَيْلًا. 40 nights. So it's like this. SubhanAllah, you don't know. And SubhanAllah, for this reason, and that's why we started this whole conversation by saying, Al-Qadar sirrun min asrarillah. Don't try to unreveal that secret. Don't try to understand it. With your mind, you would never be able to. So just believe in it with your heart. We're just getting some examples to make things closer. But it is never within the limits of our. How it is that it is already written and in the same time it's fair. Because you're not urged to do anything. It is fair. Though it is written, though it is known, it's totally fair. No one urged you to do anything. And from the completeness of that fair and that adl from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that you don't know what is written upon you. If it is revealed and you know that Mr. X is from the people of the hellfire, so Mr. X will say, whatever I do, I will end up in the hellfire. And vice versa. Mr. Y, if it is revealed that he is from the people of the paradise, he would never do anything good. SubhanAllah, you don't know. SubhanAllah. For those people whom are only known during their lifetime that they are people of the paradise or people of the hellfire, they already have accomplished their role and they will continue like this. Like for the Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali and the others of the companion radiallahu anhum. And like Abu Jahl, Abu Lahab. For example, Abu Lahab, the verse of the Quran came down very early, 3 years only after the revelation. تَبَّتْ يَدَ أَبِي لَهَبٍ وَتَبٍّ. So he and his wife were nominated as to be among the people of the hellfire. And subhanAllah, they were so stupid that they were not able to falsify Islam by saying, even by falsehood, we are Muslim, so the Quran is not truthful. If they said, we are Muslim, and the Quran is saying, تَبَّتْ يَدَا أَبِي لَهَبٍ وَتَبَّ, so they would falsify Islam. Because how come that you are saying, تَبَّتْ يَدَا أَبِي لَهَبٍ وَتَبَّ, and we declared Islam now? But they have never done it. And they would never been able to do it. SubhanAllah, how come they can do it? They can never. They can never. So رفعت الأقلام وجفت الصحف. اعملوا فكل ميسر لما خلق له. As the Prophet ﷺ said, work for every person is, subhanAllah, is eased in the way that he was created for. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ease for us the way of the ta'ah and let us away from the way of the ma'asiyah. And with this hadith, you can revive your iman and your belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can steadfast upon knowing how to make true tawakkul and how to use the dua and the asking for help, and not to feel pity or sorry for anything that you miss, and not to feel so much happy or glad for anything that you had. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لكي لا تفرحوا بما آتاكم لكي لا تأسوا على ما فاتكم ولا تفرحوا بما آتاكم. Don't feel desperate or pity or frustrated from what you have missed, and don't feel so glad and happy for what you had. SubhanAllah. It's all, after all, ما عندكم ينفد وما عند الله باق. Whatever you had is going to be nothing. What is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is staying back. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن ينفعنا وإياكم بما قلنا وسمعنا. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله عز وجل ولكم، وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خير.